بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up? Everything is everything. What's happening? What's going on, man? What's the word? Let me know if you can hear me. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me. We're gonna come right back. Normally this is a Friday conversation, but I wanted to clear something up because I told y'all I was gonna find it. So I'm like, man, I gotta come back. And then something happened to me yesterday after the khutbah. I was like, nah, this can't wait no week to show y'all. So I'm gonna have to come back in. All right. So you said the mic a little low. You can't hear me? Hold on. Let me ensure that's up. Hold on 1 second. Man, I think that was hard as it get though. We should be cool. Can you hear me? We good? Janine, Islam, what's happening? Can you hear me all right, Janine? Anybody else? Let me know. Everything is everything said. Okay, it's great now. It's cool. Perfect. All right, cool. So, all right, let's get this party started, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all on this beautiful Saturday. It's obviously I don't have no life. This is what I do right here, right? Let's get into the Night of Destiny, Black Woman Soulmate Part 2. B Smitty, what up? Oh, B, man, I gotta hit you up, man. We straight for tomorrow, man. I didn't travel, so the email will go out for tomorrow's class. All right. I'll let everybody know that as well. All right. So let me back up a bit. So remember yesterday. Do I need to get into yesterday's conversation? Do I? Y'all gonna have to check it out, man. So remember yesterday, I said, man, there was a definition that meant a woman who is an ally. And here it is. I found it because I forgot this slide. And it was when I defined the word Lord, which is Rob, RBB. Okay. And so it means foster daughter, stepdaughter, foster mother, but a woman who is an ally. So when I made that translation and put that in there, I didn't show you the actual definition. Okay. And so you have to go to part 1 because I'm not going to go through all of that. But this is just us looking at this last sentence. The word every literally translated to mean to be married. And that word is cool. Okay. Coolly. So cool means married. All right. To be married. All right. So it's again, I mean, the Lord, every matter. So Lord is woman, every is married. You see where this is going? Just this alone, man, is telling you that yesterday's conversation is much deeper than the surface. So matter literally means command or matters to be determined. All right. Or affairs. Okay. I'm not going to get into this. Just to backtrack a little bit, I'm just going to get straight to what that translation of that verse actually represents. All right. Man, you be seeing some stuff that's good though. But even in this sentence, peace it is to the emergence of dawn. We're talking about Surah 97, the last verse of Surah 97, which is verse 5. Peace it is to the emergence of dawn. The word emergence literally means the rise, timing of rising of celestial bodies, starting point. All right, break example, e.g., of day or dawn, right? So, peace it is to the emergence of dawn. It literally talking about, hey, this is the rising of celestial bodies, okay? And then it also means star of destiny. The word here in Arabic is matala. Matala il-Faj. This whole last verse is salam, which is peace. Salamu hiya hatta matala il-Faj. Matala is the emergence, but matala means star of destiny, as you can see. Okay. Um, the dawn represents wealth, abundance, Faj or Fajr, as we call it. Literally means wealth or abundance. So when you do Fajr prayer, Faj is literally wealth, abundance. Also, you see morning star, right? You see this. Lucifer, son of the morning. Yes, you see this. Okay. So peace literally means surrender. So when you look at this whole thing, we saw surrender, soft woman is peace. Peace literally translates to soft woman as well. I showed that yesterday. Surrender, soft woman, lucky star, wealth. Okay. All right. So this is what it looks like on the surface when you go to that particular verse, 97 or chapter 97. Indeed, we revealed it in the night of destiny. We'll make you know what the night of destiny is. The night of destiny is better than 1,000 months, descends the angels in the spirit by the permission of their Lord for every matter. Peace it is unto the emergence of dawn. That's what it says. Yes. But really, the long form translation reads, indeed, we ejaculated sperm into the peaceful woman who you were matched to within space time. What can make you disentangle who the peaceful woman is? The peaceful woman is a good woman of good fortune, whom you are intimately familiar with, that suits your affection, and whom you fit with and brings you success in space-time. The sperm descends, your royal power, wealth, and property are your kingship. Listen to the woman who is an ally. Marry her is the command. You just saw that live today. Listen to the woman who is an ally. Marry her is the command. Surrender to a peaceful, soft woman, let's say, and study the celestial horizons as starting points and the lucky star of wealth and abundance, as you just saw that. Okay. So let me move into bring this one back. All right. Give me a second. Let me make sure we straight over here. Oh, let me come back. So yesterday when we left off with the Venus key. Yes. Because I'm saying that, hey, this whole verse that we just discovered or really went into, it is clear that it talks about a woman. The whole Layla meaning night, Laylat night, that literally translates to a name of a woman. And then Laylat Qadar, right? So, or the name of a woman, right? So we start to go in there, we break down Laylat. It also means peace. When we throw that word Layla inside of an Arabic lexicon, one of the meanings is peace. So it's a peaceful woman. All right. Then it turned, other definitions kept saying good woman, good fortune, then a soft woman, then talked about marriage. Yes. So all these things, then a woman who is an ally, all these things, right? So you're talking about a principle known as Venus, okay? The Venus key. And what a coinky dink, next week, this week coming up, I think it's Tuesday, we about to start a 24-day journey dealing with the Venus key. Why then? Why 1014 to 11:6? Is because Venus will ingress, meaning move back into her home, the constellation that she has dominion over, which is Libra. Okay. See, now this is where we got to pay attention, because now there's a solar clock that we have. Yeah, it's Libra season, but Venus is just now catching up and getting into Libra. We've been in Libra season since when? September 22nd. We've been in Libra season. Venus is just now coming home into Libra on the 14th of October. So now we on a Venus clock paying attention to the energy. You see what I'm saying? And so this is what I love about this, is because once you know how it works, it's just a simple, really simple, easy, rhythmic flow of the universe, man, or solar system. Keywords for Venus, just in case you need to get caught up: marriage, females, beauty, attraction, money, 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 harmony, rhythm, sensuality. Ooh, that's a word that is underestimated. Sensuality. I dare say seduction a little bit. Values, cohesion, coming together, love, sharing. Okay. So those are keywords for Venus. All right. So I think I'm about to get off this slide. Yeah, let's get off of this one. Let's come over here. Boom. And let's rock and roll. All right. So dig it. This appeared in my reality yesterday. I ain't lying. Let me blow this up on my end so I can see it. Come on, man. Let me see. There you go. Friday, October the 10th, 2025, 3:54. All right. Get out of here, man. All right. So this popped up in my reality yesterday. Yes. Now, this is important. This is vitally important, because now when we go back, when we come to the Patreon, right? A couple days ago, which was 4 days ago, I posted in the Patreon, Happy Aries full moon. That was Tuesday, October the 6th. I said full moon emoji, align exactly with my Venus. It is all making sense now. Come through at 9 and let's zikr with the African Sufis. Check the previous post below. Okay. So let me explain this to give this some context here. This is important to understand, because I be trying my best to articulate this and just share with you in real time revelation that's happening. Like, this just happened yesterday after I get off the live. And I'm going to tell you who I'm going to show you who I was talking to and everything when this happened and whatnot. So I'm making this post in Patreon because Tuesday we had a full moon. Technically, the full moon came in at 11 something at night, and it was 14 degrees Aries. The sun earlier in the day on October the 6th was 13 degrees Aries. And then as it progressed throughout the day, 11 something at night, getting ready to go to the next day, it progressed to 14 degrees Aries. So 13 was the starting point. 14 was the actual technical degree, when the moon's degree, minute, and second matches the sun degree, minute, and second on the other side. I'm going to show you this. So 13, 14 degrees in this pocket. Now I'm saying, hey, this hit my Venus. My Venus, when I was born, is in this same region of space. That's what this post was about. This is Tuesday. This is before this conversation we had yesterday. DeLeon, what up, fam? All right. Okay. All right. So now let me show you some astral work, because this is the full moon came in at 11:47 p.m. What are you looking at? The moon at the top that says 14 degrees. What is that? Maybe 8 minutes. I ain't got my I'm not that close to it to see. So it's 14 minutes. I want to say 1408. That's what it looks like from here. Definitely 14. The sun at the bottom, 14 with the matching matching minute number, 1408. So technically the full moon, y'all, is when the moon is precisely opposite the sun by the degree, by the minute, even down to the second. Okay? This is mathematics. So this is a pair. Okay? So it technically came in at 11:47 at 14 degrees, which means early in the day, the sun was at 13. Early in the day, the sun had encompassed a few different degrees because the moon moves 13 degrees per day. Okay. So she's moving kind of fast throughout the signs. That's why she's only in the sign for 2.5 days. Okay. So she was at 13 degrees earlier in the day as well. Not even earlier than not even 2 hours ago, she was 13 degrees. Okay. All right. So now on October the 8th, 6th, I backed it up to 9 p.m. because that's the time that we in the Patreon say, hey, if you're going to come to our full moon zikr party, we're going to get down with the African Sufis for 30 minutes, come through at 9 p.m. Well, at 9 p.m., the moon is at 12 degrees. See how fast she moved? In 2 hours, when it's technically the full moon, almost going on 3 hours, she moved to 14 degrees. So you got to give me some room here, because when I show you the car that was in front of me, few slides back, yes, it was at 13 Aries. You understand? All right. All right. Now, 10/6/2025 at 9 o'clock, the time we're going in, doing our thing, this is where the moon appears. But I know you said, well, Noble, I thought it was in Aries. Yes, there's a slight tilt. There's an illusion going on. This is the difference between Eastern and Western. This is why you can't, my opinion, Western trumps Eastern, because you can't believe what you see with the naked eye. There's a tilt of 23 degrees of the Earth's axis, right? And still there's given the illusion that this is really it's given the illusion that this is Pisces space, but this is really Aries space. Okay. So anyway, for simple identification markers, the moon appears to be at the tail of the first fish at 9 p.m. Okay. I'm going to take you to my birthday. Okay. Yep. I didn't disclose my birthday. I ain't going to have you all up in my specs. So where's the moon? I'm sorry. Where's Venus? When I'm born. Venus, when I'm born, is in this exact same location. Technically, this location is 12 degrees Aries. Okay. Just wanted to show you that. All right. So that's why I said in the post, yo, this full moon is lighting up my Venus. It's all making sense now. Okay. All right. So now let me blow this up, because this is important to understand. So I hit Yusuf. It's always him. He's always the one. And I'm like, yo, just now I was talking to Jew about the Qadar verse in Venus, and look at this shit. He's like, bro, what the actual fuck? Like, man, can't tell me God ain't real. And he was like, and Monday is 10/13. He said, me and my wife, 2-year wedding anniversary, right? I said, oh man, for real? Right? So now he's entangled in this. You know what I'm saying? So we came in on the moon, 13 degrees, 14 degrees, Aries. The car pop up in my reality after the Qadar, right? And then he said, well, wait a minute, hold on, 1013. This is, in his reality is like the very next week is like, oh shit, bro, that's when me and my wife got married. You know? So this is important to understand. Let me look at you when I tell you this real quick. What's really important to understand is this. Because I told him in the next line, I should have put it in here. I said, oh man, I'm entangled in your shit. That's what this is. I've said this and I talked this in class. The state of our well-being and relationships will unintentionally affect other people for better or worse. That's why it's imperative for us to be on our best behavior, because our dysfunction could spill over, unbeknownst, just energetically, can spill over and affect somebody else. The same is true on the positive energy, that you can affect someone else. Okay. You can see this when two people are passing, but if that person never said, oh, wow, you look nice today, or you smell good today, and never said anything, you wouldn't have known that you actually had an effect on that person. But I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be a physical, I see you to be in your space to have an effect on someone. It's not how that works. I call this, you got a theory in quantum physics called string theory. I got one called cosmic string theory, which everybody, the science now knows that everything is interconnected. The Quran proved that. Yes, I never forget that word. It's called habuki, by the heaven and the pathways. That's in the Quran. By the heaven and the pathways. Pathways means habuki, which means an interwoven intersection of a fabric. That Einstein said space is like made out of fabric. So everything is interconnected. Depending on where you at on the chain, on the link next to the person, whatever the case may be, is going to determine if you're going to have an effect on that person or persons. So exactly, it's quantum entanglement. So we have to be on our A game at all times. Think about it. You ever had some things, you may wake up like, why am I feeling this way? Could be good, could be bad. It's as if you received it because it wasn't there a minute ago, a second ago, yesterday. It's coming from somewhere, because this thing here is nothing more than a big antenna that is a receptacle that receives incoming data all the time. Man, there's radio waves, there's sound waves, there's infrared waves, there's ether, there's thought, there are all kind of cell phone tower waves, there are all kind of waves permeating through this building, through our environment, through our aura, through our being, even planetary gravitational waves, all kind of waves is coming through here. Okay, so we have to be on point to the best of our ability. All right, okie dokie, where we at? Let me see what we got here. All right, so I'm not going to disclose what this is, but let me give you an example of something. Boy, I can't wait till this story come out. I really can't. I don't even know how I'm gonna let it out without letting it out. But I'm gonna try my best because I gotta hold some privacy here. All right. Obviously, what you see in red, it says progress composite for October the 6th, which was the full moon. Okay. Now, you see that circle with the cross in it, 14 degrees Aries. You see Venus right next to it at 11 degrees Aries. So now even the sun was at 4 degrees Aries, right? So let's talk a bit about, okay, what is a progress composite? Y'all ready for this? Let's get some understanding. What is progress composite? Well, progression simply means on your birthday, when you're fresh out the womb, and really at the cutting of the umbilical cord is really the ultimate timestamp. When you draw the first breath, independent of mommy, is when a major imprint of the soul is happening. We know it as the cry. Okay? There's an imprint. That's really the time when you drew that in independently. Oh, that's when the clock starts. Planetary clocks, where everything was at. Where was this? Where was this? Where is this? What's the configuration? Okay? Important. Now, that follows us because that space has memory. That space has memory. If I show you my assassination files from Martin Luther King to Abraham Lincoln all the way to Nipsey Hussle, if I show you the same pattern over and over again, and I say, hey, when this person was born, this planet was right here. But when they died, that planet wasn't there, but the planet Mars was there. But the planet that they had right there, let's say the sun, wasn't there. The sun was not in Leo when Nipsey Hussle died, right? But it's as if this space remembers that the sun was there. And this is what astrologers do not explain to you. They just say, hey, you have Mars opposite the sun right now. Mars in the sky is opposite your sun, right? Or Mars opposite Mars. How can you have, that's a classic example. How can one planet be opposite itself? No, the one planet is in opposition to where it was when you were born. So it's the space. And if I'm having a response, I'm responding to the space. Because oftentimes what happens is a planet, the home planet is not in that space at the time of the event. Another planet in the sky is at a certain angle. You see these lines right here on the chart, is at a certain angle to that area of space. But that planet is not there today. It's very important to understand. So now space has memory. Okay? It's no different than this space right here has a certain energetic frequency. All spaces have frequency. It has, and when you go and you be gone for a very long time, things start to get dusty and stale and the air gets, you can tell. Space has memory because it holds energy. Okay, cool. So now the progress chart says, hey, on your first birthday, we're going to move the sun up 1 degree because you just turned 1 year old. And then we see that AC, say that ticks 1 degree, hypothetically, okay? That ticks 1 degree. So every year on your birthday, as you become more older, as you become more mature, your chart, natal chart says, okay, I am going to tick right along with you to match you. I'm going to evolve the sun 1 degree per year. The moon, I will move 13 degrees per year. Now, mind you, a regular moon is 13 degrees a day, but in the law of what's called secondary progressions, the moon is going to move on average 13 degrees per year. So your chart is ticking as you're getting older. Look at it as it's just mirroring your maturity. Okay. So now composite, because this chart says progress composite. Composite is when you take person A and you take person B, and these two decide to meet in the middle astrologically, meaning if one person's birthday is July the 1st, the other person's birthday is July the 3rd, then their sun will meet at July the 2nd. So the sun is going to move in the middle because they only 2 days apart. So the day in the middle is what's bringing them together. That's hence it's called composite. Combine them. Okay. So we're going to do that for his planet, sun, her planet, sun, and make it meet in the middle. Where's your moon? Oh, your moon is over here in Taurus. This person moon is over here in, let's just say, Scorpio. Let's say the midpoint is going to be Leo. Boom. Now, where's your Mercury? Oh, your Mercury happens to be in Aries. Your Mercury's is in Libra. Okay, let's make that a midpoint. We're going to put your Mercury in Cancer. Boom. You get me? And truth be told, this is really the secret relationship or entity that exists between the two people. This is important to understand because physically, if man and woman can come together to produce child, then what's going on spiritually? There's an energy that exists between the two poles of man and woman. In this day, there is a day that sits evenly between you and your partner. That is your balance point, known as a fulcrum. So when you look at the justice scales, you know how the scales look? How the scales look? I'm the worst drawer, right? It looked like a T, right? So when we do the scales, yes, this right here in the middle, that's the fulcrum, right? Usually there has something on top of it, right? That's the fulcrum. This is your birthday. This is the other person's birthday. We got to find the balance point that sits in between both of our birthdays because this is the day that sits evenly between us. It's like you're leaving your birthday, I'm leaving my birthday, and we are walking towards each other and we met in the middle. What day is that? Because that's going to be your midpoint composite day right there. That's the day that you really get married on. It's not by too close to your day. It's not too far from me and vice versa. It's the day that sits even in balance. And balance is what? Libra. And Libra is what? Marriage. Hello. Is it making sense? Okay. All right. So the progress, because you got a regular composite, but then you have a progress composite. Regular composite, just birthday, meet in the middle. But progress said, hey, we're both older now. Okay, we're older now. So it said, okay, we're going to take where you're at in your progression and where you're at in your progression, and we're going to make those meet in the middle. That's it. So in this particular chart, okay, let's talk about it. In this particular chart, they have the lot of fortune at 14 degrees Aries. The lot of fortune. That's the circle with the cross. Okay. Now, what is the lot of fortune? Because we saw yesterday, yes, we saw yesterday that we are to study the lucky star of fortune. That was in the scripture yesterday. The lucky star of fortune, which we identify as Venus. Okay. So now Venus, right? Dealing with the Venus key. Venus is the energy of relationships. You have this full moon that's right here, right? And then this lot of fortune, which the lot of fortune is a mathematical formula that says, hey, what's your rising sign? Meaning, what's the sign rising at the time of your birth? Look at the AC. Let's bring it back. Y'all can get an astro lesson today. That AC right there says 15 degrees Gemini to the left. That simply means the AC is the sunrise point where the sun rises at. That's just east. But notice the sun is all the way at the top, so it's in the south. Okay? But this would be at Aries, Gemini rising. Sun in Aries, Gemini is rising. Sun in Aries at the top, Gemini rising on the AC. Okay? That's it. All right? So The lot of fortune says, what is the AC? What is the degree of the sun? What is the moon? And it has a formula to calculate those three. Is it a PM birth, AM birth? Because now we got to, do this formula. And then it's going to create a location known as the lot of fortune, also known as the part of fortune. This is like a baby Jupiter. Obviously, it says fortune. So this is a fortunate placement. Okay. This location shows you how to tap into the fortune. All right. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to show you what a lot of fortune is. And then how in real time this can line up. Like, what a coincidence, right? So let me give you a little bit of insight, because this couple, because this is a couple, they took my advice that said, hey, listen, I'm telling you, on Friday, do not miss. And I gave it to y'all too. I tell you, do not miss Friday. Friday at sunset, that's when you are with your significant other and you express appreciation. Try your best not to miss it. Now, the Jewish woman on Friday, 18 minutes before sunset, she lights the candles. So why can't we say things of appreciation and words of endearment and affection and emotion? I'm telling you, I'm showing you what the Jewish woman do. Jewish woman, and that's a great highlight, because everybody know they're highly successful in certain things, right? Part of that is they are dogmatic, meaning they're like pit bulls locked onto a bone when it comes to their religion. In the Sabbath or the Shabbat, Friday evening, what? I ain't missing that. Even the Hebrew Israelite is dogmatic, right? Can't call him on Saturday. I got one of my maintenance men is a Hebrew Israelite. I'll call him on Saturday. He ain't gonna answer the phone. Ain't happening until the sun sets, and then he'll talk to you. Okay. But anyway, so for them to do this practice, the seventh house is the DC that you see on this chart. That's when the sun sets over there. To do this practice on Friday, the day of Venus. Now it's a combination lock. It's lining up. Friday, Venus, sunset, seventh house ruled by Venus, double. So now it's lining up, right? And then here's the kicker. They didn't know that they had this energy before the full moon. They found this out after the full moon. So, but they had already been doing the practice, but they didn't know that they had a progressed composite chart. I didn't run that until like maybe 2 days ago or something, right? Either yesterday or 2 days ago, right? And it happens to line up with the full moon that they just participated in. You see what I'm talking about? The same full moon that I just showed you. A car jumped in front of me that said 13 degrees Aries, dealing with the whole Venus key, what we was talking about, to let you know, to show you in real time that this is how Allah speaks in real time to us that is looking for that conversation as it flows. As the Quran says in 65:12, Allah's command descends among the seven heavens and planets. Okay? Allah's command come through planetary waves of information. All right? So just wanted to show you this, man. I can't wait to tell y'all more about this. So let's go back a bit and go into part 2. This verse in the Quran 30:21 says, and it is among his signs that he has created for you wives from among yourselves. I keep telling you, yourselves is soul, so that you may find tranquility in them. And he has created love and kindness. Kindness is rahmat, which is mercy. Love and mercy between you. Surely in this, there are signs for people who reflect. So you open it up with surely these are signs. And then at the very end, you tell us again, hey, this is signs for people who think. But if you like, it's telling you to think about this right here. This is what I'm saying. You have to take your time with this. And to truly get it, you have to make a decision on how to prioritize information, your time, in which you are going to really allow to take root and anchor inside of yourself. So in return, you can start putting things into motion, application that mirror the principle for what we call the expansion of your soul, right? The expansion of your soul, so all things may be fulfilled. Okay? Because you can't just glaze over this, man. You cannot. Let me bring this up. Let me blow it up. And it is among his signs that he has created for you wise from your soul, so that you may find tranquility in them. He has created love and kindness between you. Surely in this there are signs for people who reflect. We're supposed to reflect on what? That he created them, created wise from ourselves. How? We can talk about that. We're supposed to find tranquility in them. We got to talk about that. And he's created love and kindness between you, which is love and mercy. We definitely got to talk about that, because that tells me there is something that is man, love and mercy. Mercy implies that, hey, something happened that I don't like. And now it is up to me to exercise mercy. See, kindness is great, but you got to understand everything in its context. There's a kindness where you're being kind out of the kindness of your heart, but then there's a kindness that you got to tap into to give in the moment that you normally wouldn't give, i.e., mercy. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. Or some say the most compassionate, the merciful. Yes? Both of those words, Rahman, Rahim, are the same three letters to make up the Arabic root word. It's the same thing. So it's a double mercy, compassionate mercy, beneficent, most merciful. It's the same thing. Why are you giving me this double compassion? Because when you're dealing with human beings, you absolutely need double compassion, okay? It's really simple. It's really simple. It's really that simple. When we are dealing with human beings, we need double compassion. So even just looking at all of the openings of the Quran, besides one surah, surah 9 don't have it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, which really translates to in the heavens is your kin, in the heavens is your blood ties. The beneficent, the merciful. Okay. But anyway, all right. So let's deal with this concept of, because he's telling us, hey, think. It's signs in this. So let's just deal with tranquility. We're just going to deal with one tonight. Tranquility. All right. Let's make sure it means tranquility, because at the bottom it says calm, tranquility, and peace. But look at the first definition at the top. Residence, your home. Oh, man, there's a Jew told me it's a Bible saying that says something like if the woman at home is unpeaceful, it is better to sleep on the roof of the house. A peaceful home is everything. I got a friend, who was that? Was Aaron. And we was talking, and she was talking about how for her as a woman, her chief objective in a relationship is to make sure that the house is the most peaceful, warm, welcoming, inviting environment ever. That's her chief objective as a woman in a relationship. We saw yesterday, we saw yesterday, I forget what word it was in Arabic, but it translated to mean soft woman. Soft woman. But anyway, so you created a wife from my soul so I can find tranquility in her, but tranquility means a house. It means peace, but that simply means you, woman, must have peace in the house. And I think Aaron did say it best, like that should be a chief objective. Do you know? Listen, for a man to come home and not feel appreciated in his own home, especially if he a breadwinner, is he pay the bills? You ain't got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if he ain't the breadwinner. If y'all got an agreement, hey, y'all got an agreement, whatever that may be. It's no need not to be, all stank. Why isn't it peaceful? You know what I'm saying? I've read in Kabbalistic literature amongst the Jews that if peace doesn't exist in your house, then Hashem, that's what they call God, which means the name. Hashem does not reside here if there's no marital peace. There's no marital peace. There's no peace in Hashem. Don't live here. That's their belief. You know what I'm saying? That's their belief. All right. So tranquility is peace. But let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. Because when we throw the word tranquility into the lexicon, do you know it says church, a synagogue, pretty woman walking down the street? Oh, so the pretty woman is the church. The pretty woman is the synagogue. Wow. I find it funny how this whole conversation is about destiny and soulmates. And when we peel the layers back, looking at these definitions, is all has something to do with marriage, good fortune, soft woman, tender woman, a woman who's an ally, a daughter-in-law or stepdaughter rather, a stepmother, a woman's name, Laylat, Knight of Power. Laylat means knight, but it really means a woman's name. There's a lot of feminine pointing to when it comes to this thing called destiny. Yes? So now when we go to a completely different verse to try to get some understanding of what our connection is, what our connection is, how we were made for one another, because the Quran says, I made her from yourself. I'm telling you, start with the word nafs. Nafs means soul. We made her from your soul. So you may find tranquility in her. Go to the lexicon. Let me see what you got for tranquility. A word that is synonymous or in this function, you tell me, is pretty woman. Yeah. See, y'all better stop acting crazy, women. It take you 3 hours to get dressed and come outside, and you don't like men being googly eyed over you and drooling and shit. It take you 3 hours. You didn't put on a costume. You didn't put on lashes. You didn't put on hair. You didn't did everything. Made your skin glow. Made your lips pop. And we just ain't supposed to look and do nothing. And I'm not saying that we supposed to. I'm just saying make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because here in the scripture says, listen, pretty woman, you are the equivalent of a church in a synagogue. Listen, I swear to you, wallahi, I promise to you, if I'll take you to a Hebrew dictionary right now, to make me do it, the very first letter in the Torah, in Genesis, they say it's in the beginning, and the letter, that's the word. The word is Bereshith, but if you know Hebrew, the letter B is a word. The letter B is bet. And when you look up what bet means a house. It means a house. It also means vagina. So vagina is actually the very first word cleverly encoded in a sense of the Bible in Genesis. And this can't be really far-fetched because, again, your first story is going to be about Adam and Eve. It's going to be about some type of union of man and woman coming together. This is spiritual biology. Okay? All right. Yes. Yusef. Yes, 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 yes. Means womb. Rahman is womb. Absolutely. 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 Blood ties, wombs. Yes. But now look what it means, ladies and gentlemen. The stars, the planets, root or origin. That's the beginning point. That's the beginning, the root, the origin. You telling me when we go to a lexicon and we go look up the word that deals with tranquility, our findings come back to kanas, which means the stars and planets. Yes? And you just add an H at the end on the bottom, and you get root or origin. So then, technically, what you're saying is, and it is among his signs that he has created for you wives from your souls so that you may find planets in them. I could say that. Now you can say that don't make no sense. That is shirk, brother. Well, riddle me this scripture right here then, and I haven't touched it. We will show them our signs. There they go again. Let me tell you something, man. Allah is the most cryptic. The Quran is the most cryptic, teasing you to figure out what these signs mean. Keep telling you, we're going to show you signs. We're going to show you signs. Sign, 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 sign. They gang banging. Astaghfirullah. We will show them our signs in the universe and within their own being until it will become manifest to them that this is the truth. Is it not enough about your Lord that he is witness to everything? So when I say the planets in between them, but Fusilat, which is my favorite surah in English, as far as the commentary was taking place, explained in clear detail. That's what it says, Fusilat's detail. You're saying that, hey, there's a planet, there's a body on the horizon, and something's going on inside myself, and we're going to keep on going through this until it becomes clear that I understand this truth. Something out there, something in here, something out there, something in here, something out there, something in here. There's a correspondence until it becomes clear that this is the truth. Wow. Wow. So why wouldn't what my translation just said, hey, from the mystical standpoint, which takes you back to the origin point, because the word meant origin, stars and planets are actually in the beginning of the origin point of creation for us. Anyway, we need to understand these connecting points. That's it. We got to understand these connecting points. Okay. All right. Let's move on. All right. All right. So how do I call forth my soulmate today, nigga? All right. Give it to me. Before we do that, let me give you a verse in the Quran. And by the soul in he who proportioned it and inspired it of its wickedness and its righteousness, he has succeeded who purifies it. Now, there's a verse in the Bible that says, what? I create good, I create evil, I, God, do these things. Yes. Hey, it got me a little cool. Oop, had to break out Anubis Anpu on y'all. And I got the Venus key. Look, what it? You see my ankh? Uh-oh, got the Venus key. All right. So you're saying that, and this is interesting because this is chapter 91, which is Shams, which is the sun. The Bible says God creates good and evil. I, God, do all of these things. The Quran just says right here, the one who proportioned it, inspired it with wickedness and righteousness. That's what it says. But he succeeds who purifies it. So we have to purify the soul. We got to purify the soul. Do you want to call forth the soulmate in an unpurified state? It's fine, long as you recognize y'all both need purification together, or that person, if one is purified, the other one ain't, and they willing to journey, you can do whatever in this reality you want to do. But be very, very careful of not being cognizant, man. We got to stop this being ignorant. All right. All right. Let's deal with purification then. The word for purification literally means zakah. But they say, hey, that's zakat. That's one of the pillars of Islam. It's almsgiving, it's charity. Yes, that's a good thing to do. But it means to grow, which obviously means increase, to be pure in heart, to grow. I was having this conversation. Sometimes the words are so simple, we miss it. What do you mean purifying my soul? Simply means growth. Growth is the purifier. Because when you're growing, you're no longer staying stagnant of the thing that hinders you. Hello? When we grow, we're no longer staying stagnant of the things that hinder us. We're growing. We're not reacting the same way. Don't have the same emotional disposition in our being anymore. We've grown. But you have to grow. Growth is purification. Okay? Growth is purification. I didn't know that till today. What zakat was, I didn't have growth in my definitions, right? But I promise you, when I go on fast, man, stuff be happening, right? Reminds me of the golden heart. Yes, to discover and surrender. Y'all gotta read this for yourselves, because I don't want y'all to be like, oh, he reading it to me, and I'm a visual person. Right? You know how we be a visual person. Can you read that? Do it make sense? Our purpose: to discover and surrender to the will of God. Yes. We'll stay focused. So to discover and surrender to the will of God. I don't know if you can see that. Is it upside down or is it working for y'all? All right. I don't know if y'all can see it. Right. To discover and surrender to the will of God through opening and purifying our hearts, whereas our soul may expand in the light of God. Expansion in the light of God. Whereas our lives will be truly fulfilled. Yes. I said, wait a minute. When I saw zakat, you saying is the purification, but zakat literally means the expansion. I said, wait a minute, hold on. The thing that I was instructed to do, this is why I be saying this stuff be happening in real time. I'm right along with you, in the midst with you. I get it in real time. I just come back and show y'all, like, there it did. But now I got to commit it to memory and put everything in its proper process. As far as, all right, what steps to take. All right. So the expansion is the purification. The expansion is the purification. Okay. I don't want to lose this point because I said we got to stop doing ignorant things, right? So here's a question, because this says to discover and surrender to the will of God. You got to discover what that is first. I'm talking about that in a minute. Then you can surrender. How you going to surrender to that which you ain't discovered? So you got to discover first, then surrender. And then the surrendering process, you know, is surrender when you open and purify. So then the question can become, should you purify before you open? Is that two separate things? Because you want a pure heart before you open it up to somebody. Or are you saying opening the heart is purification? Which one is it? Opening the heart is purification, because I always give the analogy of the fire hose. You will see the fire department come and take the cap off, open the lines up, and all that dirty rust water, get that system out, right? Get those metals out. And then once they bleeded the lines, as they call it, then they cap it off. So opening the heart is purification. Here's the kicker, though, man. This is the important part that we really got to get into. We have to move to a point where we are going to consciously do this. No more, I'm going to hold it in. Because as I said before, let's pick on a woman. A woman is holding something in. And this man, this new suitor, he's not keen enough necessarily to be in tune to say, hey, you know, and he just ain't got basic resume. To me, it's basic resume questions. What plagues you? What's going on with you? I'm picking up something. You know what I mean? Or general, give me the worst thing that happened to you in relationships so I can just get an understanding of what's going on. Yes. That stuff is hard to talk about because some of that stuff is embarrassing too, right? We think it may be embarrassing. It may not be embarrassing to the person that's truly listening. It's not embarrassing. It ain't no may. It's not embarrassing to the person who is truly balanced and seeking to deal with what I'm gonna call polarized alchemy, meaning as being a male, can I be in tune and give you that space as a male energy? Because I know I'm registering in your psyche a different way. We're talking about date night type of vibe in a sense, right? I'm already registered a certain way. So there's a polarity, the interchange of energy, but I'm listening and trying to have the intention on relaxing you enough for you to have the safe space to open up voluntarily and give all that debris out, get it out. Because see, what often happens is that don't come out. This person don't even know, right? He just don't know. He ain't asking no questions, no nothing. Just don't know. He just see physical shell look good, right? And then this person starts to exhibit behavior of the person who put that one thing in your experience, your past experience in your heart that you hold. And now you classify him with those, because there was never no agreement from the gate to have the intention on opening and purifying the heart. Okay. So we got to move to that point, because surely, as the Quran would say, these are signs for people who reflect. Okay. So we got to take our time and we got to go in it courageously, and in a transparent mode. You know what I mean? To give it up, because that's where the healing is going to take place, and you can heal all kinds of things. And let me say this before we continue. And it's easy to practice being the guru when you up in the mountains all day. It's easy being healed and working on yourself and all of this. Come on back down here in the realm of relationships and see what the humans, where Allah has to be most compassionate and merciful. And let's test that. Because the real test is going to come when you back in the game, not through practice. The real test is going to come when you back in the relationship. Let's make it plain. That's when the real test is going to come. Not reading no books, listening to YouTube, practicing self-care, looking good all the time by yourself. Yeah, that's good. But what happens when you now start to mingle with somebody? That's where it's at. And this is why I've always been an advocate of we need to consciously create a practice partner who gives us that space. Now we ain't in a relationship. I said practice partner. And y'all define whatever it is, how y'all want to define it, and make progressive moves. It can be whatever you define it to be. I ain't about to give you no details about it. It can be whatever you want it to be, but the goal is to set up the space so you can start bleeding the heart in a good way, letting it out. Because I'm going to say this, like I always say, who's to say that your person is already well equipped to deal with your ish? And it's not fair for you to have the opinion that this must not be my person because my person can deal with my ish. No, don't have no ish to deal with. Girl, we trying to grow. We trying to expand. We trying to have peace and tranquility at all times. We trying to build telepathic bonds where we don't have to rely on conversation. And I should be so in tune with you. I can feel you easy with no problem. I should be able to feel you. Why can't I feel you without man-made technology? What the hell? Where's the disconnect at? Where's the real cellular power? It's supposed to be the cells in us, right? We trying to merge as one soul. I thought we soulmates. What's going on? Why I got to deal with you? Why you got to deal with my stuff? Nobody wants to deal with nobody's stuff. But we should deal with it in the beginning as exercises and practices so we can continue to free ourselves up. And hey, what's a fun practice? Fun practice. We just friends. Ain't nothing. Bye-bye. Wish you the best. Boom. Here go my divine person. Hey, here's my divine person. Boom. Whatever. Right? All right, man. All right. Let me get off my soapbox. All right. Come on back to him, Noble. Where we at here? All right. So to grow, to be pure in heart, growth is pure in heart. Because now you ain't going to be like my dad, right? Pure heart, but stubborn, hard heart, hurt heart. Hurt heart. All right. So the Venus key. No, this is not Erica Badu. This is AI. The Venus key. Let's talk about it. What are some things we could do to call forth? The first thing is you got to identify your heart's truth and surrender to that. That means living in alignment to the ideal by action and preservation. Are you with me? Everyone has a dream destination that they would like to be. Everybody got that. Everybody has a dream ideal state of what the relationship looks like and feels like. Bare minimum feels like. Okay. But if you know what it look like, that look is going to produce a feeling. So I'm going to say look and feel. Okay. You know what that is? That's inherently given to us. GPS. Man, do you tell yourself to breathe? You can, but do you do it? No, you don't. You don't tell yourself produce saliva, produce liquid in my eyeballs. Hey, man, grow hair again. No, we don't do that stuff. It's automatic. Some things are automatic. Yes. So the vision that you have, you've always had it. I always say we have become disconnected from it because it appears so far or maybe far-fetched. I'm too old. Can I do it now? Whatever. Can't trust women. Can't trust men. I don't know how to build the bridge to the $1 million that I always wanted. I don't know how to build the bridge. I know I want it, but I don't know how to build the bridge. And we mistake not knowing how to build the bridge into I don't know what I want. And that's not true. Hear me closely when I tell you this, please. We all have the inherent truth inside of us. We're just missing the golden bridge to get there. But the destination you are clear of. You've always been clear of it. It was all a dream. You saw it as a kid. You saw it. Okay? So now you have to reclaim it and get polish it off. Oh, yes, that's what it was. That's what it is. Okay, okay. Now I have to start living a life that's in alignment to that by action and preservation. Action is easy because it says, okay, yo, sir, you want $1 million? You always heard about real estate back in 2007. Let me see, no, 98, 2000. It was 2000. And so my second son was born in 2000. So 99. In 99, sir, in 99, bro, you in your low 20s, man. You bought the Carlton Sheets, no money down real estate. You got approved to buy that house for 18% and chickened out because you ain't know nothing about it and didn't have a support system or whatever the case may be. And then you waited 17 years to come back to it to figure it out. But 17 years later, when you came back and you started going, it would only be within a short period of time of 3 more years where you had built you a 7-figure portfolio in net value. Sir, if you sold it all to go a milli, you did it. But you had to pursue it. You had to lock in on it and say, oh, okay, let's raise some money. Let's go buy a flip. Oh, that flip was a little disaster. I had to put 10,000 up on my own money to get us out of there to break even. But here go my next move. I ain't dealing with flips. I'm about to go buy rental properties. Okay, now here go my next move. I'm gonna learn real estate I'm gonna learn wholesale at the same time. Oh, now I'm gonna take that money and buy more rental properties. Oh, wait a minute. I learned a creative technique called sub 2. You can take over a person's mortgage. That only makes sense because her mortgage is $692. I can rent it for $1,300 today. Why would she do that? Her husband is falling down the stairs and have dementia. She's old. She can't cut the grass. She don't have no money. The house is only worth $65,000, but she owed the bank $100. So she don't have no $35,000 to give to the bank, even if she sold it at $65,000. This is a horrible situation. Oh, I got to fix because the rent supersedes the mortgage. I'll give you $2,000 in your pocket to help you move. Sign it over to me, do power of attorney to me, and I'll take over the mortgage. Yes. Buy it to subject to existing finance. My company will now make the payments. Yes. Did that. Land contracts. Did that. House going to the auction. Don't go to the auction and bid. Learn how to get straight to the owner. Hey, sorry about your house going to the auction. Do you plan to redeem this property and stop it at the sheriff's sale? Nah, man, I ain't got no money. I tell you what, man, this is what I do. I'll give you $2,000. You just sign it over. $500 to me because if the sheriff come and they sell at the auction price, you may not get nothing. So sign it over to me. And now I don't got a bid on it. They signed it over to me. Yeah, it's downtown. But maybe I need to get on the payment plan with the county taxes. Maybe I need to get in contact with a bank or something and say, hey, we want to renegotiate the mortgage. You never know what the situation may be, but you didn't get caught up in the bidding cycle. You own it now. And it was only back taxes. Let me go. I got the back tax money. Let me pay the back taxes off because I can actually make $17,000 off this deal. That was my second wholesale deal that I did. And that wasn't technically wholesale. It happened just like that. 17,000, 15,000 on the first wholesale deal. Get focused. Get on it, man. You wanted the 7-figure? Your password always has something to do with million. I was on the internet. My first son is born in 1998. I was on the internet in 1998 for sure because he was born in October. So I was on the internet in 98, AOL 2.0. I was on there, had an old school computer, Packard and Bell. I was on the internet early, right? Anyway, have that vision, lock in on it. Now the key, preservation. This is absolutely the key. This is going to show you if you really believe in what you believe, because now you have to preserve the integrity of the union. You have to preserve what is in your heart. You have to, meaning I am not going to do things that compromise. I'm not going to do things that compromise and stop me from getting to the goal. So if this is a relationship that is not necessarily a fostering, loving relationship, I must stop. We must stop, call emergency timeout, and go get emergency counseling or something, because we cannot continue to exist this way. I have a vision. I have a goal in mind. This ain't it right here. I'm going to tell you what this is, and this is how I think it should be. And this is where I would like for us to be. And this is how I see you in it. Can we please do it? Because I love you and I want to be with you, but we can't exist like this. Yeah, I'm about to wave the white flag, so let's go get the help that we need because I care. But I can no longer hold it in, and then years and years pass, and then it's the same old stuff. Oh, I'm doing so good. I don't even curse like that. Same old stuff. Same old stuff. That's not a golden heart. That's counterproductive. That's called self-sabotage. Okay? So then you have to start doing things that preserve what you're doing, i.e., in business, we call it a trust. The institution that says, nah, you just can't sell it. No, can't nobody just come take it. Yeah, it's going to have to be some approvals going on here. Right? I got $1 million investor. They got money in the trust, but they got to approve it. He just can't say, hey, give me some money from the trust. They say, hey, no, we're going to have a conversation about this, buddy. Nah, that's about 20% of your trust. We don't want to give you that much. You know, you made some past decisions we're not really happy of, and we don't know. I don't know. You know? You got to set up a trust. All right? All right, let's come back. Purify the heart. How? Several ways, man. Conscious intention is everything. Forgiveness is everything. The main thing. Can't stress that enough. When we deal with the Arabic words of manifestation or deal with the divine names, I tell them you better do forgiveness. Bare minimum. You got to start with forgiveness. Acts of kindness is great. Contemplation and keep spiritual company. You got to switch your environment up. Your mental environment and your physical environment. Okay? So just taking a bath, you know, with some rose petals isn't sufficient if you're not going to change your behavior. You can take all the rose baths all you want to, say the name 1,000,000 times all you want to. If you're not going to change your behavior to mirror the thing, you're wasting your time. You have to be that which you choose to embody. You're already that. Okay? You're it. Conscious intention, always being intentional is the key. Every single moment of the day. I keep saying I'm a fiqh master. I shouldn't say I'm a master of anything, but I'll tell you I contemplate a lot. Revelation don't come through meditation. I'm the worst meditator on the earth. I'm one of the best contemplator for sure. Because I can show you what I'm contemplating on, so much so, by the graces of Allah, the very same day, a car would jump in front of me with the license plate about the thing that I'm talking to you about, to give you the proof so that you may know that this is a sign from your Lord today. Not some old stuff. Today. Okay? So contemplation is everything. All right? All right. Moving on. Number 3. Especially men. Especially men. Because now we know that the inner essence of Surah 97, Qadar, is talking about calling forth a good woman in Arabic. Especially, you got to do this, recite the surah in Arabic, learn. It's only 5 sentences. So I keep saying, if I'm slow, I was held back in 2nd grade. If I can learn it, you can learn it. But especially at night, because it is called the night of power. And listen to, no, make me pull it up to show y'all who to listen to. I'm going to pull it up. Let me see. You got to get this. This the and you can listen to it 100 times too. The one that say 100 times.
We need your help to save the masjid where over 100 Americans have accepted Islam. This is your brother.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر.
That's my joint right there. It's my favorite surah. Now, take that surah with, and you're going to have to screenshot when I was reading the translation. Take that translation in your mind and start to know what's being said when you recite that in Arabic. And it is about to be game on. It's about to be game on. Okay. So learn that surah. All right. All right. I want to tell you how I got to this. Number 4, learn where you have Venus when you were born. Study that placement and see how that reflects your ideal relationship. Ooh, that's game. Study the planet's Venus location when you were born and study that location. Say you got Venus in Aries. What do Venus and Aries mean? And let's say Venus and Aries represents, because Aries is ambition and passionate, because it's fire, right? Entrepreneurial, right? So Venus and Aries, you may say, oh, okay, this person like a woman that like to go get it. He don't really like no housewife girl. He kind of like women that's masculine to go get it. And now commerce is a masculine sport, but there's a delicate balance that needs to be had, obvious. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say, hey, Jude trying to jock on my girl, man. My girl, my poster child for this is Keisha Kayor. He like, man, that's the woman. That's the definition of a virtuous woman when you go all the way through the definition of a virtuous woman. Because a virtuous woman also was getting some money. You know what I'm saying? And so, but anyway, it's a delicate balance and whatnot. So that could be a thing. That could be a thing where it's like, oh, okay, you like the one that's a little help you in your empire type of thing. You empire building. You don't necessarily want her to work, but she's ambitious enough to help you build because, as April said, she's good for your peace, your portfolio, and your legacy, right? So study your Venus placements, both men and women, right? But now I am a fan of this, and it's really a two-way street. When a woman's Venus matches a man's sun, it's my favorite marker. But what happens when it's a woman's, a man's, a woman's sun on a man's Venus? Role reversal. It's good though. But I absolutely love when a man's sun is on a woman's Venus or vice versa, which will be her Venus is on his sun, because that means she's the one that's holding the Ankh. She's the one that's bringing this symbol right here, eternal life, which is really in your brain. It's called the circle of Willis, set of arteries on top of your brain. I meant to show that. So, but when she's bringing eternal life, this key, the symbol for Venus, she's bringing eternal life to you, sir. And ma'am, when his sun on your Venus, this is the masculine shining light upon the principle that represents marriage, relationships, compatibility. Now, this is just starting points, because to get into this science in detail, there's some studying that needs to be done. You understand? Oh Lord, Dr. Quantum. Oh Lord, no one. See, look, classic example. So if I'm not mistaken, I think Dr. Quantum, I think is a woman, right? Or I'm gonna say is a woman, right? She says her name says it all, right? This is a classic example of what I'm talking about. And thank you for this. She goes by the name Dr. Quantum, okay? And her Venus is in Gemini. Gemini is the sign of intellect and thinking. So to Dr. Quantum, if it is a woman, I want to say yes, great, thank you. As a woman, what gives her balance in love is some smart shit. There go the cuss word. All right, that's not a bad one. It's the smart stuff. So if you come with books, to her, making love on books is probably a fantasy. It's good. It's okay. Well, we were studying all night and we talking about the quantum field and we just started making out and the books was on the bed, just happened. It was like probably organically fun and interesting for a person that's highly mental. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So if I had, a single partner or whatever in quantum physics, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hey. So this Venus in Gemini. This Venus is relationships. Gemini is the intellect. So what do you think she want in a partner? She want a partner who's intellectually savvy. You feel me? So it can't be no dun-dun-dun. You can't be slacking in the area of intelligence. That's paramount. That gives her that gives her her balance. You see what I'm saying? So locate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for example, let's take a minister Jew, for example. He's a Gemini. The term quantum is really his term when it comes to what I would call a conscious community that we all seen from Brother Rich. A lot of us, we all know each other from Brother Rich for the most part. The quantum guy is minister Jew. What a coincidence, he's a Gemini. Now, this hypothetically say, like, okay, hold on. You got Dr. Quantum, Venus and Gemini. The Gemini dude talking quantum, bam, match made in heaven. Just that simple. Provided everything else works out. You see how simple it is? Okay? All right. So Venus and Leo, that is my favorite placement for a woman. I love that placement. Oh my God. Venus and Leo is exalted in my book. And when I'm telling you, it really is exalted there. I'm telling y'all. Modern astrologers don't tell you this, but I'm telling you this. That's an exaltation. Venus and Leo produces the most loving, can produce. You got to look at things in this totality, right? But Venus and Leo is a very loving energy. Very loving energy. Venus represents the beauty aspect. And then Leo represents this fun, love, warming energy. So they're very synonymous. Venus is said to be love. The sun's energy, or Leo's energy, is love. So they're going to synonymous connection right there and whatnot. So Venus and Leo, that's that Rico. That's that, you know what I'm saying? That's that Rico Suave stuff. You know what I mean? Very, very smooth, very loving, very charming. Naturally can love children because Leo is children and whatnot. It's just very romantic. Very romantic. Smooth as a month. Smooth operator Sade. That's a smooth placement right there. If you a male with Venus and Leo, boy, you borderline pimping. You borderline pimping. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know? All right, so yeah, I like that placement. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. Janine, what you got? Venus in the 12th in Aqua. Man. So Aquarius is very similar to Gemini. In fact, Aquarius is the higher octave of Gemini. What do you mean? Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus. Uranus is the higher octave. It's Mercury on steroids. Okay? And it's the last air sign. So it's the last airbender is Aquarius. So highly intellectual, highly obviously mental, revolutionary, even do something that thinks outside of the box. Venus in Leo, he right on cue. Watch this. Boy, he right on cue. Hey, Jew.
Yo.
Hey, I'm on live, man. But there's somebody and I'm talking about Venus right now, and they said they got Venus in Aquarius, and you called me right on cue because every time they say that, I think of you. Tell them how you feel about Venus in Aquarius, bro. They can hear you on the mic.
Oh no. Oh no, that one there is a little bit too eccentric.
Yeah. Yeah, he's nice. Yeah, I get with you, bro. Yeah, that's not his. He don't like that placement. Venus in Aquarius has been known from observation to produce just some weird behaviors, man. It's weird, man. You know, I don't want to ostracize anybody, but you know, it's weird. But Venus in Aquarius is, you gonna think outside of the box. In its purest form, for me, it's absolutely a love for humanity. Um, and it's Bob Marley. You know what I'm saying? It's Huey P. Newton. It's revolutionary. You know what I mean? It is. You absolutely want to. You want to see humanity grow. You know what I mean? And so you got to think outside of the box and be radical. And so your love is a radical love that probably won't be understood in some shape, form, or fashion. Venus and Aquarius can also go for long distance in relationships. So could Gemini, Venus and Gemini as well. Venus in Aries, Venus in Sagittarius. Those four, notice they're all air and fire signs. Those four right there, they can go for a little bit of space in relationships. So Venus and Aquarius could be a little detached, but one thing I do love about that placement is it's Aquarius is non-emotional. So for a woman to have Venus here, same with Gemini, these women are not necessarily your typical average emotional women. These are women who have developed a aspect of their neocortex, frontal lobe, conscious mind, not what we call limbic brain, subconscious, emotional response without even thinking. So emotional maturity comes because of this high level of intellect that you have and whatnot. And sort of like Gemini, you absolutely would be attracted to someone that is, you know, that Aquarian ray, revolutionary, different, but at the same time, you know, uplifting and intellectual, game changer. You know what I'm saying? Game changer. Yeah, Jew be hating on y'all, man. He be hating on y'all for real. But we seen some weird things with that, so I understand where he at with that. Yeah, so study. That's my last slide too. So study study those things, man. You know, where is this at for you? You know what I mean? And what is this telling? One of the best books, I ain't one of the best, but the best book on astrology to me is Robert Hand, Planets in Transit. You can get his other book called Planets in Composite when you start dealing with relationship energies, just to get an understanding of what this represents as a relationship psychology. But planets and transits is the truth. You can decipher your natal chart that way. So, like the chart we saw, let's say it had Venus in the 10th. Well, go look up transit Venus in the 10th house, and that's going to give you the energy of what it is. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, as a great starting point, that's it. The self-activation workbook and the Patreon is free. You know what I'm saying? That's usually the first starting point, because you need to work on your own chart. Why don't you know where your stuff is at? Why don't you know where these planets was at if you can resonate with this as a truth? That's a little challenge to you. If you can resonate with this conversation as a form of truth and knowing that you are connected, right? Challenge yourself to know where these energies are at. You know, especially Mars. You gotta keep an eye on that dude. You gotta know where that thing is at. You know what I mean? But you should get that. You should know that. You know what I mean? I know I got this here, I got that there, you know. So if somebody got this here, I automatically know, like, oh no, I know what the law say. This says that like I had a partner in real estate. He was a 27-degree Scorpio. So what would that make his birthday? Around 11/19, 11/20, right up in that pocket. Dude, you squaring my son. My son is 27 Aquarius. This was a perfect 90-degree angle. I said, all right, this won't last forever. You know, it's going to be some agitation that's going to come out of this one. But it's cool. I already know this. So it's gonna be, let's just go ahead and do our thing. And so when I set up the LLC, it was three of us. I set it up as 51% and let them split the other 49. Because now if it ever came down to any legal stuff, you don't have to control the interest. I do. I'm 51%. It's the whole purpose of that. If it ever came down to it. And you know, he ended up beating me out of a little bit of money too, trying to impress a woman and giving her a deal, and did the transaction at a whole nother title company. The other partner was telling me that I owe somebody $1,000. We owe somebody $1,000. Who? I'm the one to cut the check. That's my job. Like, what you mean? You mean to tell me I ain't pay somebody? What you talking about? Look at the deal. Send me the contract. Look at the contract. Oh no, red flag. We don't. I'm not on the company name ain't even on this contract. The other partner's name is on this contract, and we don't even do business with this title company. So, bro, did I get paid off this deal? Man, I could have swore you did. I tell you what, man, check your records and see, because the other partner got paid on such and such date. So go and search and see and let me know. All right, I mean, my girl gonna order the bank record. Man, you can go on your app. I can go on my app on Chase right now and go all the way back 5 years and just type in the range. I'm looking for a transaction anywhere from 3,000 to 3,200, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And all that's gonna pop up, right? Come find out you didn't pay me. Ain't no problem. I'm gonna take it out this paycheck that's coming up out of this DC deal. We had a big ass deal, like $80,000 we was gonna make, and end up losing one of the houses and did like 50 plus in DC. And but yeah, but that they go to agitation point right there. There it is right here. Now you test it. So you know what I did? Because I'm always in the process of contemplation. I ain't flip. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to be unscrupulous for money. I was the dude at 18, 19 years old that was, selling stuff to, crack to pregnant women. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to be unscrupulous for money, not in your right mind, not having grown. You know what I mean? Influenced by whatever it is you influenced by, influence under whatever you may be influenced under as well. Don't take it as a light. Don't take it as a lesson. You know what I mean? And kept them around for a minute, pay me my bread. But that and then had the audacity. This is how the split happened. Had the audacity to be like, hey man, I'm going in the Seattle market. Going in the Seattle market. The other partner called me, hey man, bro, talking about doing his own thing in Seattle. All right, man, set it up. Let's put us on the phone. Like, yeah, man, we splitting the money 3 ways because we partners, man. I'm just saying, I'm gonna take my money and just start going in the Seattle market, and that's gonna be my deal. I was in 13 cities doing wholesale at one time. I was beasting out for a minute. Like, seriously, I was in 13 cities at one time doing wholesale, right? Got VAs in the Philippines making phone calls and stuff. Buffalo getting money. DC got money out of there, right? Just those two cities alone was bringing us some volume, right? My other partner who ratted on him, he was so thorough. The reason I made him a partner is because when he wasn't a partner and he came, just wanted to learn real estate, and we'd give him 10% just for helping us. His grandma was selling her house, and he didn't reverse it on us and say, hey, since your company didn't get the lead, and I'm gonna give y'all 10%, right? Let's just split it, bro, because we bros, man. Let's just split. I ain't tripping. I said, oh no, that's how I move. I said, so now he's a partner. We're gonna do this a third. You know what I'm saying? So he had every right not to allow, us to have more than 10% because we was only paying him 10%. It was his family deal. That didn't come from our marketing. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't do that. So for him to have that kind of love, and for me to be creative enough to put us in different markets, how do you do that? I'm almost, I think Spirit is telling me to go back into it a little bit, because I had my son's teenage friend from school came over here to the office the other day, who I gave a list to, and he want to get started. Something spirit, and I need the bread too, for real, for real. I need to stop being lazy. But how do you be creative and do this? You be creative, and I pick on Janine because I see her in the chat. I'm like, hey Janine, listen, where you at? I said we can do two things, right? You pay for this list, and I'm gonna work the list. And the payment is gonna get the list, the phone numbers. It's gonna take care of the callers that's gonna call and text them and all that stuff. It's gonna take care of the CRM. Those virtual assistants gonna tell me this is a lead. My job is to work the lead. You ain't got to do nothing but put the bread up. So now if I'm having financial issues, like let's say I don't have the money to get started, but we can partner on this 50-50. I'll do the work, you put the money up. All right. And so now I get the deal. We can put it in your backyard so you can learn this. If you want to, we can do it in your backyard. I'm going to put you on base. They're going to call and say, yeah, you know, what you offer. And I'm going to say, hey, no, well, let me come through and see. I need to make sure it's a 2026 house. You know, what I'm going to do for 2026 is I got two things that I do. Either I'm going to keep it and rent it, or I'm going to come in and fix it and make it a 2026 house. And that's a total different business from my rental business. Right. So how fast can I get over there, you know, so I can, you know, make an inspection and see what I'm going to want, you know, do with this property. So you set the appointment. Once you set the appointment, let's just go through it. And then we got it in contract. We just going to sell that contract. We're not going to put no more. We ain't buying no house. We just getting the house in contract and we're selling the contract. We can do that in your backyard because now when it's time to go look at the house, Janine, I need you to go look at the house because you wanted to learn this. So we put it in, we put the marketing campaign together in your backyard. That's how that works. Or we can put it in my yard because you don't want to do no work, and that's cool. And I got to work for mine because you putting the money up. So that's cool too. But that's how I put us in different markets. We getting checks coming through. You got the audacity to say that you're going to go to Seattle by yourself? Well, I'm about to say it. I'm about to say it in my Philly slang too. F out of here. Nah, It's not how that works. But my point is, I already knew that he was going to agitate me. I knew that. It was just a matter of when, and not to flip out totally when it happened, because you already knew it was coming. That makes no sense to know what's coming and then flip out as if you're surprised. That would make no sense. But when you start to learn this information, this gives you I'm gonna say it. This gives you a foresight. I was gonna say superior knowledge, and it is superior because if I know me and you gonna fall out, you know what I'm saying? Then hey, you know what I'm gonna be mad for, right? I'm telling you, man. I got some little fallouts. We have a little discrepancy in the dates. I got on the board already. I got it on the board on my whiteboard. Mercury retrograde. Oh, y'all watching the retrograde. I'm watching the shadow period. 825 is a shadow period. Check my phone. What? Oh, for real? It's like that. Look at the date. Wait a minute, ain't that on the board? Be damn, it's on the board. All right, cool, no problem. Bingo. You know this. All right. Venus and Taurus is at home, man. That's values and money. Just make sure, you know, those two things. What you value is together in that feminine piece. Now that one there, when April says she got to be good for your portfolio and your legacy, the Venus and Taurus, that's a woman who is strong in finance, man. She ain't no slouch. She ain't no slouch over there. If you got Venus and Taurus and your girl got bad credit and she ain't on her financial game, you out of pocket, homie. You extremely out of pocket. Venus and Taurus represents a woman and yourself is balanced in these finances. Venus rules Taurus, is at home when it's not ruling Libra. So you got to have a woman that's on her financial game. Don't mean she a go-getter, but she all right, at least with managing what you got. She's damn good. She manages the portfolio while you go out and make the acquisitions. She ain't no slouch when it comes to business. All right, Maurice, you got Venus and Pisces. So Venus and Pisces is a stripper. No, Venus and Pisces is at home, and you know that's an exaltation. So you got to watch that one because this is Erykah Badu type of vibes right here. You will be mesmerized. You can be delusional about women. You know what I'm saying? But this is, man, Venus and Pisces, you love, that's like you love an artist. You love that India Irie, mystical, Baduish, or whatever it is from the cultural expression of art that you like. That's marrying an artist and whatnot. But usually they're very abstract. Piscean energy is an abstract energy. Spirituals, and and they walk around with crystals on their forehead and the crown and stuff because they into that. That's what is energy and frequency and psychic, and that's very true. So that's a high priestess type of energy, a spiritual woman. You know what I'm saying? You just have to make sure that you're not being delusional here, because the Piscean energy is an energy of secret enemies in disguise. So you want to make sure that you're really seeing the person for their true, authentic self behind all that. Take the dreadlock trick. Take off the dreadlock wig, Erica, and let me see that bald head, girl. Right? Let me see. You know what I mean? So Erica get you. Abby will mesmerize the hell out you. Abby is Erica's middle name. I call her Abby. So Abby will mesmerize. She will hypnotize your ass, and everybody know it. Everybody know it. You know what I'm saying? So that's Venus and Pisces, man. You know what I'm saying? For real. All right. What else y'all got, man? And I'm an Aquarius sun, same rising. Okay. Yep. Aquarius sun, Aquarius rising. Yep. So that could put you in a 12. You know what I mean? What'd you say, Jamie? When y'all was gonna fall out? Mercury retrograde. Or me and my partner, the other dude. I didn't know when. I wasn't looking when. I just knew it would happen. And the other person, I didn't know. I just had that date down. Like, okay, I know. If I could have thought about it, like, who am I interacting with? That I kind of go back and forth with anyway. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of that, it brings me to the great sacrifice. I'm glad you said that, Jamie. Brings me to the great sacrifice, because there's sometimes a sacrifice has to be made. And I'm not a fan of sacrifice. How can I say this? And I'm talking about calling forth the partner, right? How can I say this? I've seen where I was, because I believe in the Quran. I wholeheartedly believe in the Quran. I do. It's giving me too much science to not believe in it. I'm not gonna say what I believed in the Quran that had me willing to sacrifice what I perceive to be my regular standard, but willing to do that, knowing that it wasn't beneficial in totality. That one thing was a great thing, but the other aspects wasn't the best. Had potential, but it wasn't the best in knowing that. But I was going to do it for the sake of the greater good. Man, let me just say it, because I just got to say it. So I was willing to sacrifice myself for what the Quran called orphans. The Quran don't like you not taking care of the orphans. And it don't mean that your parents is physically dead. You can have a deadbeat dad that's alive, right? Deadbeat mom that's alive, right? So willing to, I got empty nesters, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, meaning, my youngest is turning 18 this upcoming weekend. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't got no young kids, man. You know what I mean? So a woman coming into my cipher with young kids is that's really a no-no almost. You know what I mean? But I must admit, through my, acceptance of this Quran, and I understand the importance of community and what they getting at with that. And community don't necessarily always mean intimacy, far as boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife either. So I understand what they was getting at, but I was willing, I was willing. And so I wholeheartedly know this to be the truth. Since I was willing to go to such an extent, let's just say the heavens have opened up on a whole nother level. I'm on a new level. I'm telling you now, I'm on a whole nother level from various things, right? But I was willing. It was a trial and jubilations, as Jamie's name is. It was trial and jubilations behind some things. You know what I'm saying? That I had to undergo to get to a certain state in order for the right people and things to come about. I'll put it that way. So you may have to think about, the greater good. Sacrifice sometimes ain't about walking away. Sacrifice sometimes could be, what am I willing to do for the greater good? Now, this is what I do, because I don't like sacrifice in relationships. I'm gonna say it again. I do not like sacrifice in relationships. Too much of it means incompatibility. It don't mean that you can't run to the corner store for your person. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if it is an emergency, then you need to call an emergency timeout and say, hey, we have to fix this immediately, because I want us to be going over here. And what does that look like? Do you see me as your soulmate? Am I your soulmate? Am I your soulmate? Boy, I'll tell you conversations I was having. Boy, blow your mind. Or blow your mind. It soon come, as they say. Soon come, as my Jamaicans say. Soon come. But ask your significant other, do you believe we soulmates? They may tell you the truth. It may be a sag, tell you that's the truth and be like, no. Hell no, we ain't soulmates. I don't think so. Nigga, you cheated on me. How can you be my soulmate? You cheated. All kind of stuff may happen, right? All kinds of, like, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Be surprised. But I'm gonna say this and we can close. Unless y'all got a question, put it in the chat so we can wrap up. Because this is serious stuff, man. But it's really, I believe it's easy. If you're in a situation that's sticky, remember your stickiness can create misfortune for somebody else, and somebody else can be stuck because you stuck. The moment you make a change, that's a ripple effect, and somebody else can make a change. So you got to do it for the team, because we all connected, whether we want to be or not. Ain't that messed up? I walk in the store and somebody pass gas, I got to inhale that shit, right? I didn't want to, right? But I got to inhale that. We all affected. I walk in my son's funky room, nigga, goddamn, nigga, like, open that window, man. Nothing is more frustrating to me than smelling another male's freaking gland juice. You know what I mean? Like that irks. Like, I feel my soul cringe in the inside when that happens. I'm not made for that, bro. I'm not sorry. I'm not made for that, right? So anyway, call you gotta call the meeting that's necessary, because we can affect one another in ways that we're not even aware of. All right, please. And then do those things we had on the screen. All right, those of you in the Patreon, especially those of you in the Golden Heart, get ready, because we got a nice little journey on the help in relationships. You really should have been doing it when Venus was in Leo, but I let you go. I got something for you coming up on Tuesday. I'm gonna drop the instructions Monday. in the Patreon. I got something for you starting Tuesday. Don't even worry about it. People in relationships, you about to be in for a nice 24-day practice. And if your partner ain't in the Patreon, it's all right. Play the MP3 for them, because I'm gonna make an MP3 with the instructions, and I'm giving them the invite to practice with you. Okay. Now, if you got a partner that don't want to practice with you and think you weird or whatever the case may be, pray. I can't tell you what to do. Pray. All right. Pray on it. You know what I mean? Do something. All right. So we got any questions before we jump up out of here? Janine said relationships should flow like water. See, that's such an Aquarian, Venus in Aquarius type of ideology. It should just flow. Yeah, Ludong. That's Mandarin for flow. Ludong. Yeah, it should flow. Man, I believe in unicorns, man. I really wholeheartedly believe. I keep saying it. This here is a game changer. When you understand the very essence of what's in here and you get it, it's gonna change you. It's gonna change you. Should I call forth some crybabies? I've known people who've come into this teaching and it hit their heart in such a way, now they crying, right? Because a purification process started, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about get in there. Like we gotta get in there. You know what I mean? Gotta get in that space. All right. So the two basket reps, what does the two scales represent in Libra? So what's on each side of the scale? In Egypt, it was the heart and the feather, your thoughts and your feelings, in a sense. But you had to learn to have your heart had to be lighter than the feather. Your heart got to be lighter than the thoughts. So thoughts cannot dampen your heart. And global society as a whole, the number one killer in the world is some type of heart issue, because our thoughts. Y'all got to read the book The Heart's Code. You slipping on that if you didn't participate in the book club this year on Patreon. But you got to get that. The Heart's Code was a really good read. So what's on the scale? It's a few things on the scale. Your heart and your mind, or what you perceive to be your brain mind, is on the scale. That's one. That's the first thing that's on the scale that need to get recalibrated and understand heart consciousness. Then what's on the scale is you and I. We on the scale. So now when man and woman is on the scale, now we got to still go, what's determining the weight? Yes, what's determining the weight? Is this what's your level of consciousness? What's your perception about conflict resolution? You know what I'm saying? What's going on financially? What your credit score is? Hey, you know what? I had this idea, but that's what's on the scale. The scale is man and woman. The things, our perceptions about reality, right? Because I'm about to make a joke. So I'll just stick with those two things on the scale right now, right? Male, female, and then within inside of self, the mind and the heart. Just like there's a credit bureau to check your credit, man, it would be dope, but it has to be factual. It can't be fraudulent, man. It would be dope if we could plug into a database to see what your exes say about us, right? What do our exes have to say about us? In truth, right? No bitterness. In truth, what would our exes' commentary be about on our relationship historical credit profile? So now you got a financial credit profile, but you got a relationship credit profile. They got derogatory remarks, not because they bitter, but it's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? That would be really, really dope. I want to have a conversation with your ex. I'm that, like, that's why I want to know what he got to say. Yo, bro, what's up with her? You know what I'm saying? Like, tell me, what was your experience? What's your worst experience with her? if you had to give any advice on how to deal with this person, would you date her again? Would you marry her again? You know, if y'all were married, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? That's what I would like to see. You know what I'm saying? Really getting the full story. You know what I'm saying? Yidik. El Monte Noble, have you ever read, what is that? Hebet and Ba. Man, no. I got something else. Well, I don't know what it is that I got. It's in the garage though. It's not that though. What I got? Harkaki or something? I don't have that though, brother. I don't have that one. All right. So one side for the heart, one side for the brain. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Ike, what up, man? All right. So we good? We straight over here? All right, man. We straight over here. Appreciate y'all. But join in that Patreon. Come through. I will see you Friday on Friday's Cook. But man, I really appreciate y'all. Click that like button if you didn't already. Please, it's free. Click the like button and get the thing going. Subscribe. Come on through, man. Alhamdulillah, man. I appreciate you, Vision. Appreciate you. And we do like yesterday, we leave on a short prayer of Qadar, which simply means abundance. All right, man. I get with y'all. Peace.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر